Today on this edition of Life After Sight Loss TV, we're asking the question, is the Apple Pencil worth it if you are visually impaired? What's up, VIPs? Derek here, back with another edition of Life After Sight Loss TV, where it's all about helping you discover life after sight loss. On this channel, we do product reviews, life advice, encouragement, how-tos, and so much more. So if you're new here and that sounds good to you, consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss another single video. Recently, I got an email from someone asking about the use of the Apple Pencil with the iPad Pro. I did a review of the iPad Pro a few months back, and I'll link to that video in the description down below. But basically, I have the iPad Pro 9.7. Now there's the 10.5 inch and of course the 12.9 inch, the behemoth of iPads. So when I got that email about the Apple Pencil, I thought, well, I'll take up that challenge and see if it'll work. So I went to my local store, I picked one up, and I said, let's run it through its paces and see how this goes. Let me go ahead and tell you about the Apple Pencil itself. First of all, it's $99, which you'll have to decide is worth it to purchase if you wanted to. And it only works with the iPad Pro line. Not the regular iPad, not the Air, not the iPad Mini, not the iPhone, none of that. Only the iPad Pro line, which is the 12.9, 10.5, 9.7. Keep that in mind if you're thinking about this. Other styluses will work with other ones, but we're just talking about the Apple Pencil here specifically. So the Apple Pencil, it's a great product. It's well built, it's well made. Yes, it's a stylus. Yes, Steve Jobs said they're never going to use stylus, blah, blah, blah. Look, it's great. It's built well. It works exactly the way it should. There's no latency. You can take it. It's just like writing on a piece of paper minus the feeling you get from pen to paper. It's a really good product. It's well made and can do a lot of great things. But that, I think, is if you're sighted. Because all the testing I did with different apps, with drawing, with writing, with all those different things, it was very difficult to use. The functionality for me was way down. Not because the Apple Pencil's bad or isn't accessible, it's because I can't see very well. It's kind of like suggesting we need to make cars more accessible. Yeah, we can make the radio more accessible, or we could have touch screens with screen readers and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, we can't drive a car because we can't see. And it has nothing to do with making cars more accessible. It has everything to do with the fact that we can't see. And you can say whatever you want about that and go into that whole thing, but the point is, the Apple Pencil isn't necessarily inaccessible. It's just that the functionality of using a stylus on the iPad is way down based on my lack of vision. So what did I try? Well, I tried a lot of different things. I tried drawing, I tried notating, I tried all these things, but my main focus was I really wanted it to work for note-taking. That was really what I wanted it to do. And it would draw and it would write and it was neat, but I had to hold the iPad so close and, get this thing, and it was just, my handwriting's not great anyway, and maybe I'll talk about that in another video about handwriting, but the point is, it was just so difficult. I ended up returning the Apple Pencil because I just thought I could spend those $99 in a much more efficient way in technology or home or whatever the case may be. I could buy a really nice meal and it would serve me a lot better than spending $99 on the Apple Pencil. Now here's the thing, I may be wrong on this. I might be wrong, maybe you love the Apple Pencil. Maybe you found it and you're like, oh, I love it, it does so wonderful things, it's great. Look, it didn't work for me, but maybe it does for you. And if it does, I want to hear about it. Let me know in the comments if you use the Apple Pencil and how it goes. Because at the end of the day, if it works for you, awesome, use it, and it's great. So what was our original question? Is it worth it for somebody that's visually impaired? Well, as with anything, you're going to have to determine if it's worth it for you personally. But I would say overall, in a general way, especially if you have very limited sight, no, it's not going to be worth it to spend that money on a stylus. Even though it's a good stylus and will do a great job, it's not going to be worth it to you. I don't think you're going to use it as functionally as a sighted person would. Now, you can debate all day about the accessibility of things and the functionality of things and but the reality is I couldn't use it that well as a visually impaired person, and I have quite a bit of vision left, quite a bit of usable vision, at least from my point of view, I do. And so the less vision you have, the less functionality you're going to get out of it. So I would encourage you, take that $99, take your spouse out for a nice meal, spend it on something that is going to really be beneficial for you, maybe in the kitchen or whatever the case is, and use your iPad to the best of your ability, and maybe find other ways to take notes as well. And maybe, just maybe, I'll do a video about that coming up in the near future. So my question for you today is this: what do you think about a stylus on the iPad? Do you use one, Apple Pencil or otherwise? And if you do, how do you use it and what functionality do you get out of it? I'd love to hear about it, and I know others would as well, so let me know in the comments below. Hey, if you liked this video, if you found it helpful, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, share it with somebody you know, and smash that subscribe button so you don't miss another single video. And until next time, remember that sight loss isn't the end, it's just the beginning. My name's Derek Daniel from lifeaftersightloss.com, and I'll see you in the next one.